I want to set some ground rules. The first ground rule that I'd like to set is that we're all family, right? Right? Yeah. We're all family. So I want to talk to you as though I am your brother, your father, your son, your uncle, your cousin, somewhere in that position. Because I've got something to say, and I'd like to say it to the young people, that there isn't anything that you can't accomplish if you have vision. You see, when I started with Frito-Lay in 1976, I didn't have a whole lot of going for me. I had no education, was told I would never be anything, but I had one thing, I had vision. And this is what vision did for me. When others saw what I was, vision saw what I would become. The very thing that disqualified me, vision used to qualify me. So it's a pleasure to be here. Mickey, it's an honor. It's really an honor to know you. Your friendship is, in our community, there's two types of leaders. There's good leaders, and then there's great leaders. Good leaders build talent. Great leaders build people. Nobody does it better than you. Thank you. I would also like to thank Dr. Andrade. I met him a few years ago, and this gentleman is what I came home and I told my wife, man, I met this veterano, and he is so cool. He is so cool. One of the most educated men that you will ever meet, one of the smartest men you'll ever meet, but yet how he treats young people, how he sets them up he builds people. It's an honor to know you. And Brent, it's an honor to know the work that you do. You do it so well. You've been doing it for so many years. We've been great supporters of you and your organization, and we thank you that you've given us opportunities. It's the work that you've done for many, many years that have helped the people behind me to make it. And I also thank my beautiful wife, who's been my mentor. Many times I'd go home crying, and she'd say, you know what, hang in there. You're going to make it. And I want to thank Christina, my public relations manager, that make sure that I stay out of trouble and I go where I'm supposed to and don't talk to. Two very powerful Latinas in my life. And to all the Latinas in here, I want to say something to you. You're really special. I mean, when it comes to a Latina, there's no other creation can match you. So I've said this 1,000 times, and I'll say it another 1,000 times. When God created the Latina, He was showing off. Back in my days, when I first started off, I've been with my wife since we were kids. We've been together 40 years. We've been married 35 years, been together 40 years. But when we got together, we didn't have any dreams. That's why I like to tell young people, you know what, dream. Let it be wild. It's okay. Throw it out there. See, my dad and my grandfather were good men, but they didn't know how to dream because all they were doing was working. So when I started working full-time when I was in the 3rd grade. My grandfather picked grapes, my dad picked grapes, then I picked grapes. So we didn't have time to dream. But we had hope. And our hope that someday we would have a better future. That maybe someday we don't have to worry about how we're going to feed our kids today. Maybe someday we'll have a bank account. Maybe someday, Judy, you and I will be able to write a check. Maybe someday we'll live in that neighborhood that we used to go trick-or-treating, and they'd throw us out because they say, you don't live in this. But I remember, I didn't want to go trick-or-treating in the barrio. There was no candy in there. Me and Judy used to go across town where you get the big Hershey bars. But after a while, after a few knocks, they would realize, you know what, this is not your neighborhood, is it? Go back. we were never hurt because we didn't know what discrimination was. We didn't know what it was. We just, well, we don't belong there. We got to go back to the other side of the track. Young people, I want to tell you today, listen to me, young people. You don't need anybody's permission to become great. And if you feel you need somebody's permission, well, I'm here to give it to you today. You have my permission to be great. So, for me, it all began in the 60s. You see, during the civil rights movement of the 60s, I wasn't old enough, Mickey, to have an impact on the movement. But I was old enough that the movement had an impact on me. Here it is. Let's go back to 1960-something, okay? I won't give you the exact date. 3rd grade. In a one-room building. My mom getting me ready for school. Because guess what? We're being bused from an all-Spanish-speaking school to English school. And I'm crying. And Mom says, Chion, ¿por qué lloras? Crybaby, why are you crying? Porque no quiero ir a esa escuela. Because I don't want to go to that school. ¿Y por qué no? Why not? Porque todos hablan inglés. Because everybody speaks English. What am I going to do? So my uncle takes me to the corner bus. And guess what? The bus that shows up, it's green. And I told my tío, I said, why can't I get on the yellow bus? Why do I got to get on the green bus? He's like, I don't know, Bill. This is the bus they sent. It wasn't until years later that I realized that it was, listen, young people, that it was society telling me, you're not good enough to get on the yellow bus, get on the green bus, because we're going to parade you across town so that everybody can see these kids aren't good enough for the yellow bus. So we get to school. Don't understand a word the teacher's saying. But there's one sound that's international. Every young kid knows this sound. And it's the sound of the recess bell. So there we are, we hear it. And what a relief. So it was about eight or nine of us, I really don't remember. But we grabbed our lunches, we went and we sat down, you know, whatever it is, 100 kids. I really remember. You have to use your own imagination. We're all getting ready to eat our lunch, and I pulled mine out. And getting ready to take a bite, and just like this, everybody's staring at me. So I put my lunch back in the bag. Why do you think I put my lunch back in the bag? Because it was a burrito. You got to remember, this was 1963. The world hadn't seen a burrito yet. Contrary to popular belief, Taco Bell didn't introduce the burrito to the world. Me and my mom did. But I put that burrito right back. Why? Because I was embarrassed. Because I thought, look, why do I have to ride the green bus? Why do I have to eat burritos? I don't want everybody staring at me. Why can't I fit in? I want to be like that other little boy. So I remember I went home and I told my mom, straight up, Mama, hazme un bologna sandwich con un cupcake como los otros. Mom, make me a bologna sandwich and a cupcake like the other kids. Because I don't want to be different. But my mom, being the marketing genius that she is, she said, no, mijo, this is who you are. So she made me 2 burritos. And she said, here's one for you, and here's one to share with a friend. So Wednesday, I had my burrito nightmare. Thursday, I shared a burrito with a friend. Friday, I was selling burritos for 25 cents a piece. My young brothers and sisters, that's when I started to find out, well, wait a minute. Maybe there is something special about being different. Maybe it's okay to speak a different language. Maybe it's okay to eat different food. I finally realized, young people, I finally realized that none of us were created to fit in. We were created to stand out. Young people, live your life, stand out, regardless of what anybody thinks. Remember.